Yeah. Anyway, Luke, thanks
Hell
for
yeah.
coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for welcoming me to your setup.
Welcome to Waterford Film Centre, into our studio.
Yeah, awesome, man. It's cool you're doing stuff like this.
Yeah, it's great. Waterford's a really creative town, very supportive of the arts. A lot of really talented people down here, and we are building up a really good community of actors and filmmakers.
Awesome, man. That's very cool. But I remember, I don't know. I don't want to start with this, but maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I remember seeing you doing a zombie movie or something. I was thinking,
Yeah.
because I didn't know you was doing anything in acting. I was like, zombie film, and I love zombie films. I was like, no, so I've been kind of keeping an eye on you since.
Yeah, I used to collect zombie films when I was a kid.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I think
I know.
But
What's your favourite zombie film?
Oh fuck, there's so many.
I've got
It's
an
gonna be Night of the Living Dead, the remake, the '90s remake.
I go Dawn of the Dead, the original Dawn.
The original Dawn of the Dead.
The slow motion zombies in the shopping centre, like 2.5 hours long.
It's fucking brilliant.
Ah, savage.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. Like
Exactly.
it's fucking brilliant, man.
Yeah.
And I love the Resident Evil games as well.
Yeah. Games we shouldn't have been playing when we were that age.
It's much worse nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
If there was GTA 5 around when I was a kid, I'd be fucked up in the head by now, I'd say.
Yeah. Did you have GTA 1?
Yeah.
No, because I remember my brother got GTA 1 and it had that little 18s, like the movies 18s marker on it. And about 2 weeks later it was pulled off the shelves for a few months and then it was back on.
Deadly.
So I wish I still had it. It's probably worth money now, but
Probably.
it's long gone in the bin.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was as violent as games got back then, but it was like little overhead view of a little man running around shooting. It's totally different now.
Yeah, fuck yeah, it is.
That new one comes out, it's going to be crazy. If it ever comes out, it keeps getting delayed. That is another day's talk anyway.
But I go back to the zombie film,
Yeah.
Follow the Dead. It's on Amazon Prime. That was my first film straight out of acting training. And it was
Sweet.
a friend of mine, Adam Cahill. I wrote a short story called, can't remember what it's called, Crack of the Dead. So I wanted to do an Irish zombie film.
Crack of C-R-A-O-C.
Crack of the
Good
Dead.
idea, good idea, I like it.
It was a comedy, and then we just played around with a few different characters, and then he ends up developing it into a film because I was studying acting full time. And he's like, "Can I make this into a film? And I'll make you the lead." I was like, "Yeah, of course, no problem. Make me the lead."
I'm the lead, yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be the next fucking Colin Farrell." Like, but yeah, it was a great film made for 20k. There was serious learning in that for all of us. It got really good reviews, and it got like, it's a proper indie film. Like 20k is fucking a sneeze. You know what I mean? To make a 90-minute film, like.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, it's nice, and it's like really indie. But yeah, great time on that.
And that's on Amazon Prime still.
Yeah.
That's even cool to have a film
It is,
on Amazon
actually.
Prime, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
it is.
so cool, man. This beautiful thing about, like, for me, I obviously don't know much about film, but the fact that I can so easily now make music and just put it online. There's no gatekeepers anymore.
No,
You
so
know?
all you have to do, there was a theory back in the day, when the internet first came around, and this, like, the music industry, say, got decimated, and I wasn't doing like albums anymore, or it went into streaming.
Streaming, yeah.
So some guy wrote this lecture. I don't know what it is. Fucking Jamie, pull it up, man. It was the 500 fans theory, I think it was.
Right.
So you just need 500 fans to have a modest career. Like, if 500 fans buy like 4 of your things during the year, like your songs, your albums, whatever, you could actually make a decent living off of that.
Right.
So it's just about building up your audience. And then for me, like, I have the Roomba theory. When you're trying to be creative full time, there's no fucking ladder. Like, it's not like a corporate job. It's not like martial arts where you go from white belt to black belt.
Yeah.
It's like clear progression. So you have this. The way I looked at it was, because that pissed me off when I went from martial arts into acting and the creative realm. I was like, what the fuck do I do? There's no guidance here.
Yeah, you didn't know there was no direct path to follow.
Yeah, so what I did was I came up with this theory just to keep my mind calm. Was the Roomba theory. You know those little Roomba robots that hoover your gaff for you?
Yeah, okay.
The circular ones.
Yeah.
So every time you do a project, it's actually a Roomba off into space. It's doing work for you in the industry. a good example is you remember Follow the Dead, you followed me, and then next of all, 6 years later, that Roomba's come back and I'm on the podcast.
It's an interesting theory, yeah.
Yeah, so all you have to do is focus on one Roomba at a time. And so for me, I've got like pub theatre on the go, I've got acting classes on the go, I've got a few scripts that I'm working on. So that keeps me sane. I know when the films go out, they go on their festival run, I might get an email saying you won an award, like I did a few weeks ago in England, you know, and I put that up online. People are like, oh, you're winning awards now. And I'm like, yeah, for a film we did 2 years ago.
Why? It takes so long.
Yeah, it takes so long. Like, yeah. So you gotta, that'll keep you sane rather than trying to achieve.
Yeah, you have to keep moving though, huh?
Yeah.
That cycle of for independent movies, because I actually had a lad on a while ago, Peter O'Toole from Blanchardstown, who makes short films and whatnot, and yeah, he'd make a movie and nobody gets to see it for like 18 months because it has to do that festival rounds and he's not allowed to release it. And
yeah, you can't. You have to save your debuts, and then if it's shown elsewhere, you won't get into another festival, and then it can die straight away.
It's a tough game, but
it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I know. Hey, look, music is the same.
Yeah, music's worse.
Music is a motherfucker too.
Definitely.
Because you get like, if people like a few of your songs, and then everybody thinks your trajectory just rockets off, and then doesn't.
No.
2 years later, people are like, "Oh, you still do music?" You're like, "Yeah, I still do music." Yeah, so I'm sure it's the same with film. But can we go back? Can we go all the way back?
Yeah, sure.
When we spoke about martial arts and whatnot, like, and me and you, we've never really been friends as such, but we've known each other for a long time. So I remember we used to walk by your house years ago, me and the lads, and you'd always be just standing on your wall. Do you remember that?
Standing on my wall?
Not literally standing.
I don't remember that.
There was that weird guy standing on his wall, standing at your wall, just chilling there. But
me and the lads.
There was always a bit like a sense of stoicism off you. And you were like 16, and I was like, my head was all over the place trying to figure out where I was going to be in life, and you were just kind of standing there. Almost looked like a security guard for your own house.
Jesus, that sounds very painfully accurate.
Yeah. Well, look, I got it right. But you looked different. You had a shaved head for a long time too.
Shaved head, it was just a walking muscle, because the whole family were judo black belts and Irish judo champions and stuff. Yeah, very strong.
Yeah.
Strong martial arts family. Yeah. Myself, my older brother, my younger brother. Yeah, all Irish champions.
Wow.
Yeah, I think over a period in judo. Yeah. Over a period of 10 years, there was a Corcoran #1 in the country at 66 kilos. So I moved from 66 kilos up, and then my brother went into 66. So there was no gap of Corcorans for 10 years, I think.
I don't know if people in judo would love you or hate you for that.
They fucking remember us anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's incredible, though.
Yeah.
And did you pick all the judo up off your old man, or was it?
Yeah. My dad would be a judo black belt, and then our coach Kieran Foley, he was an Olympian. He went to the 1984 Olympics for judo.
Wow.
Yeah, no, he is like the Roy Keane of judo, like that kind of attitude.
Oh yeah.
No, he's from Kilkenny, like he's not from Cork. Absolute legend, really tough athlete, and a really solid trainer. Like, one thing I learned from him is just learn by doing,
Right.
But I was his main training partner for the World Masters Championships. So I'd be 16, and he'd be in his 40s, like 41 or something. Then you're the master. If you're over 35, you're an old adult. Like, you're an old athlete.
Yeah.
You're old now. Fuck off. But his main training partner, so we'd be sparring like every Saturday for hours. Like,
You're only 16.
Yeah, but I learned really quickly, really quickly off him. And we used to nickname it Foley's Factory. So for people to get their black belt in Kieran's club, say 10 people join, one person will stay and get their black belt.
It's that hard.
Yeah, it was that hard. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he's softened up now, but I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah.
But it was that kind of vibe. Like, it was super tough. Like, cool mind judo.
There's probably days where you didn't want to go, but it's.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Friday.
5 days a week.
Yeah. You wouldn't have known it talking to you. Like, you never bragged about it or anything.
No.
What's
the point?
Good martial artist, though, isn't it?
Yeah, who gives a fuck either anyway. But I had no cauliflower ears, didn't look like a fighter, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Still don't. But yeah.
You don't want it, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story actually about I was a good few years after that, but my girlfriend or my partner or whatever I should call her, we're not married yet. Girlfriend sounds weird when you're 40. You know what I'm saying? Well, anyway, her friend's done kickboxing and she done Eve trained her in like a Krav Maga, but it wasn't Krav Maga, it was an Irish guy's version of it anyway. But she asked us, do we want to go to an event one time? I said, yeah, sure, I'll go and have a few beers at it. And it was in the basketball arena in Tala.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there having a beer, and on the screen the next fight comes up, and fucking you come walking out. You came, I said, I went to school with that dude.
Yeah.
And you armbarred some fella and he tapped out.
Yeah, first round.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
Of course I remember that, yeah.
Well, I don't know how many fights you had, so.
There was,
I was like
3,000 people in the fucking audience.
It was some crack.
It was unbelievable, yeah.
It was cool for me to witness because I didn't even know you were fighting. You know?
Oh, deadly, yeah.
Yeah, so I had no idea. I was like, no way, I went to school with him. So I was down the front row watching it. So yeah, it was over quick though, yeah.
Yeah, it was trained well.
I respect anyone that gets in and does something like that, you know, it's no joke.
It's no joke, no, and it's it's fucking dangerous as well. Like, you know, ultimately fighting at a pro level in MMA is dangerous. Like, you're throwing your body on the line, you know. I think the amateur, I haven't trained in 10 years, you know.
Yeah.
I left it all behind. Retired early.
Yeah.
But yeah,
put your time in.
Fucking since I was small, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, I was very like, say it was. I think there's a couple of aspects of being human. There's I think you ever watch Sai Guru on? He's brilliant. This Indian kind of guru, and he's fucking deadly. And in the Indian tradition, whatever he's talking about, he says like there are 4 aspects of the body. Like, you've got your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, and then your spiritual body. And for me, it was very mentally strong, because if I decided to do something, I'd fucking do it. That to me is just mentally strong. Yeah. But it was emotionally just a baby on the inside. Like, it was like not very emotionally aware, not very present, kind of scattered. Even though I had the discipline to keep going, I just didn't have this kind of emotional depth to me.
Yes.
So like, I got really pissed off with all the training and the martial arts and everything. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm like, okay, do jiu-jitsu for 10 years, get a fucking black belt. I'm like, oh, I want to do this again. Ooh, it's all kind of shit. And I was like, just fucked off with everything. I'm not saying it's bad or anything. I was just, fucked off with it. And I went into one acting class. I pretended to be a tree, and I was like, this is the most fucking fun I've had in my life. You imagine that 16-year-old kid is real stoic going, I mean, allowed smile, like I'll smile, you know.
That was what you were 16 when you went in?
No, I'm just saying, you said the 16-year-old kid that looks stoic.
Yeah,
and I was like,
being a tree.
Now I'm being a tree, like, this is fucking great crack.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was like a beginner's acting class, and I went into that, and I loved it.
And you were addicted then?
Big time.
Yeah.
And then I just quit everything and said, alright, gonna be an actor, see you later, peace out.
You kind of found something inside you there that...
Yeah, it was like, cool. It was a bit like, there has to be more to life than this, was one of them. And then, but ultimately what it was there was more to me than me.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a lot of aspects of myself I didn't realise, like, or I wasn't very aware of.
100% about, I always tell people they should explore and get out of their comfort zone, and there's no larger example of that than going from getting in a cage with people to pretending to be a tree in an acting class. And I don't know which one I would be more scared of.
Yeah, totally.
There's something frightening about exposing yourself in front of strangers like that as well. Like, not in the fighting sense, in acting or performing or anything. That's scary shit, man, isn't it? It's the same for me. Like, if I'm doing it's been a few years since I've done a live gig, but it feels like you're getting ready for a fight. The adrenaline, your heart's
the adrenaline's the same, it is, and then like the self-doubt can creep in and all this shit and blah blah blah. But as soon as you're out there and you start going,
you get in flow.
That's it.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
And you get the same kick out of it. Well, it sounds like you get more of a kick.
I get a better kick out of it as well, and it's just, I went into acting because I'm like, okay, what is a really long career that I can do for the rest of my life? Because I love working. I love working on things and getting to the core of an idea or a principle. Because let's say I wanted to be Tetris champion of the world. Like it's very measured. It's very, you can only achieve the Tetris championship.
Yes.
You can't really apply what you learn from that. Maybe you can. And once you get it, it's gone. You know, once you get it, well, what was the point? But I prefer like infinite pursuits. So like with acting, and then I went into writing and then directing. I was like, okay, this is infinite. I just love the buzz.
Yeah.
So I'll never be a master of this stuff, like, but constantly trying to improve.
You are an artist. It took you a few years to find it.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah. From martial artist to artist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
that's what it is, man. There's nothing, creating something, there's nothing like it.
No,
you know what I mean?
there really isn't, like, yeah.
Even if it is shit, you created it. It's
Doesn't
my
matter.
shit. I'm not saying what you create is shit. In fact,
No.
I haven't seen much of it, and I look forward to checking that zombie movie out. I've never actually seen it.
Dude, I was quite green then, but yeah.
Of course.
And
yeah.
20 grand. And if you don't like it, go make your own film for 20 grand.
Yeah. Oh, with phones now, maybe it might actually happen. You see some crazy stuff now going.
Sure, yeah. Big time.
I mean, leaving the martial arts thing, I don't want to leave it like you said, fuck that to martial arts, because there has to be a lot of benefits you take out of all that.
Look, I wasn't saying like fuck that. I was just, you know, when you get a case of the fuck it's or fuck this in your life, that's what it was. I was just fucked off with it. But definitely the benefits there. Like I'm very, even though I'm writing, like let's say, the discipline and the follow through.
Yeah.
If I say I'm going to do a project, it's the deadline is there. I'm used to it. Like from camps, you base your life around a competition from a training camp, or you've got a competition coming up. You know, you work towards it and you get it done. So sticking to deadlines and stuff. I've never missed a deadline.
Well, there you go.
Like that's it. And then the discipline, and then it's just the belief of like I'm going to fucking do this, you know, and the follow through, which I find like it can be very easy creatively to you're never ready. Even creatively, you're never ready. It's never the right time to create. Never. And there's so many excuses you can give yourself. And there's always resistance to push through. You know, so that's what I found is from the martial arts, the resistance to pushing through, and then the definitely training like mixed martial arts when it was the wild west of MMA at the time. It was all really, everybody had their own like strengths and characters and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you had to find out what works. So like a dogged pursuit of whatever works. And then like the technique that I teach now is the Meisner technique. So I did that for a year, 2 years, and once I found that technique, I was like, it's so quick to get you to connect with someone, to get out of your head, to be less self-conscious, to be present, to act truthfully in the given circumstances. And
so what is the Meisner?
Meisner. So like, I'm gonna butcher this history lesson.
Sorry, you don't need to. You just explain it briefly to me even. So
it's a certain technique of acting that doesn't use memory. So you know, method acting, people like
where they try and become.
So that would be like So that would be like Stanislavski, the method, and he would use sense memory and stuff like that, and you'd be thinking like as an actor, because like you can wake up in the morning. It's not a regulated industry. You can wake up in the morning and call yourself an actor. But then what if you start using your own traumatic memories to put them into a scene? You're going to mess yourself up.
True.
So when I found, and that's what I was doing before I found this technique, and I was like, holy shit, the teachers that I had were unbelievable. It was amazing. It's just basically just maintain eye contact for about 20 minutes and just call out what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah, and from there, that's as simple as I can say it. But it's as simple as I can say it. But yeah, it's really effective, and like I've trained up actors, like I said, here every Friday. We come in and we do the repetition exercise. You never know what's going to happen from eye contact. And I also teach a version of this to people in rehab as well.
Oh,
in rehabilitation services, in recovery.
That's cool.
So because you get very emotionally aware of your own emotions and other people's emotions, and you can name them, become really emotionally literate. So if you're like, say you're going through a bad patch, mental health or like naming the thing is the first step to changing it.
Yeah.
Is the first step to processing it. Because acting, this is why I love acting, it's the human realm, it's the emotional realm. So like I said, I was strong physically, mentally, but emotionally I was like boop, down there. And then as I did more and more of this technique, I became like emotionally bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
And because like you're acting, like think about it, you have to be able to be present. You have to be able to act as if it's your sister, your brother, your lover, your son, your daughter. That's in the relationship you have with them. And then how do you do that? You fucking practice it with eye contact and that connection.
Yeah.
It's like that's like, so yeah, big influence from the martial arts days, because you couldn't imagine someone training for a month and then being a professional fighter.
Hell no.
So why can you imagine someone doing one acting class and being a professional fucking actor?
It takes a long time. Huh?
It takes a while, yeah, it takes a while. Now, some people can be gifted about it. That's fine. Go off and have your career. It's definitely something you can learn. That people that maybe, like I was stiff as a board when I started off.
Really?
Even when I was my fucking tree, I was like this. Wasn't even a good fucking tree.
I don't think I'd be a good tree. That's like, so you've evolved into teaching, or are you still acting and teaching?
I do whatever I have to survive.
Okay.
So actor,
that's the real life of someone in film,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah. Actor, writer, director, producer, teaching, everything.
Wow. And have you got somebody in film or TV that, like, not that you idolise, but that you think, I want to work like this person, or somebody's catalogue that...
Paddy Considine.
Paddy Considine,
yeah. I was like, because he's being himself, just like in different circumstances. He's like a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
And I love his career. I'd love to have his career. Give me your career, Paddy. But yeah, I think he's a great actor, underrated.
Yeah, and, underrated.
Yeah.
That's a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good show. Yeah, a lot of his stuff is what's the word for it? It's not mainstream. It's like,
no, it's kind of gritty, but it's real, you know. And
would I be right in saying Dead Man's Shoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a bad memory. I'll always get a word wrong in something, but yeah, that film is so good.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, and the director was brilliant, and he did This Is England as well, and I think that's fucking incredible.
Yeah, that's incredible too. Yeah, that's a cool one to model yourself off. Yeah,
well, it's just like if you, for me, like the master actor would be Daniel Day. It's like fucking hell, like he's just no one like him, you know, and fucking mental. Like I've seen an interview Stephen Graham did, and Daniel's like, from now on, you call me Bill the Butcher. And that's like in the dressing room or something, or you know, and it's like for the whole 120-day shoot or whatever it was, he was Bill the Butcher. Like,
is he very much a method actor then?
That would be method, yeah. But the thing is about acting is it's all very individual too. So that's what I love about it. I can't get anybody. I could never teach someone to act like me, because all I'm doing is introducing the actors to themselves and encouraging them to fall in love with the present moment. So then you're going to have really unique actors all the way, you know. It's going to have their own style of doing it after a while.
That's what you want, though.
Exactly, yeah. It's not like a cookie cutter thing, like. No. So even you say like, oh, they're method actors, they're this. That's just what the audience or people who watch TV say about them.
Yeah. Oh, I know a lot of people don't do the method acting thing, but the examples of it I know seem to always be people that are huge, like Jim Carrey on Man on the Moon. Apparently was like he really got stuck into that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
That would wreck my fucking head though. Like
doing that.
Yeah, because it's it can be tiring to be that present all the time. You know, like the attention you have to pay to what's going on here, what's going on there, and then to do it.
I don't think you have to do it.
You don't, because why else would you have a fucking trailer and all you just have lunch at the same time? You know what I mean? It's a job as well at the same time. It's an incredible job because you're basically getting paid for playing cops and robbers as an adult.
That's a good way of putting it, actually.
Yeah.
It is. It's a good way of putting it.
But no, so the thing with the Meisner, with the method I teach, is like you can dip in and out of those really deep emotions, and just let them go, you know, because it's imagination. But if you're using your memory, you can't let it go. It's going to stay in your body for a while, you know.
So the people you work with that are rehabilitating themselves from whatever it may be, probably to be crying and stuff, do they? Or do they get to that level? Or?
Yeah. So well here anyway in the classes that I do, you could have people burst out into tears, but they're able to use it in a scene, you know, use it. Powerful, yeah. If you watch on my Instagram, you'll see the two girls doing their scenes for their show reels, and you know, there's crying and one there was really a lot of anger in the other one. Like I love working with emotions. I just fucking love it. So the first half of the training I give is just being aware of the emotions and because a lot of people haven't felt them in a long time. And that's not just, and I'll tell you right now, there is no difference being in the room with, whether I'm working with people in rehab or working with people here. It's the same. We all have, you know what I mean? And even then, yeah, a lot of emotions can pop up that you haven't felt in a while. You haven't had permission to feel. Like society like looks down on you if you're like, oh, you're being so emotional. Yeah. Or if you're a kid and you're being shit with that, like, don't be so fucking emotional, is said in the emotion of anger. So it's like,
very true.
Whatever, you know, we are emotional beings. So the first half, we're aware of the emotions, we learn them, name them, then we name behaviors, what's going on, call it out. And then we work in the space between what's said and how it's said. There's a gap where we work in that, and then use it to affect the other person in the scene, to get what you want, to get what you need, and that's acting. Yeah.
Wow. Like, it's on the, it's like the fine line between acting and therapy there almost. Where
so
it sounds like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, you know, it can be very cathartic to come, and if you had a bad day, just get up and do a repetition and tell the other person you don't like their face, and just see what happens. You know? Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
and
like,
that's,
are these things, are these moments, are they working off a script or a
No.
dialogue?
No. But so just off like what the other person is doing,
Okay.
they'll call it out. Like, you know, it's, they call out the behavior.
Hey, I don't think I could do that.
You think you couldn't, but you could. And then after a while, what'll happen is there'll be a certain behavior, a certain connection. Then, because I'm a writer, I'm like throwing out dialogue to them.
Okay.
And then they have a scene to play with just 1 or 2 lines each.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but it's like 20 minutes each exercise, so you're getting like a lot of training. A lot of acting schools I went to. One teacher in particular was bad. I'll have to name the ones who were good now. No, I won't. The ones I had, like the Meisner coaches were amazing. The Film Academy was amazing. And there's a lot of talking. There can be a lot of talking in the class. You're like, I fucking paid for this and I'm not doing any acting.
Like
what the fuck? Like,
oh,
yeah. And me coming from my background of like, what works. I want to do what works.
Yeah,
why are you wasting my fucking time?
Yeah.
So this is why I love the Meisner technique. It's like, up you get, make eye contact. That's what you're going to have to do on set anyway. Let's go.
That's so cool, man. That is so cool. And it's great that you're able to do something that you're so passionate about, like, for most of the day. You know?
Yeah, you know, three days a week I'm working on this at the minute now.
So cool, man.
I'm teaching the Waterford Youth Arts down here as well. I'm teaching filmmaking. So because of that, like, so I was real nervous teaching the teenagers. Because there's a gap. It's like, oh, look at these Gen A skibbity toilet folk I'm going to have to work with now. Like, on what is going on? New, like, ways of talking and slang. I thought I was cool, you know what I mean? And, like, knowing all the slang when I was in school. And I'm like, oh, God, we are not cool.
I was with my nephew the other day, just off that. And he's, like, 10. And he's sitting beside me on the couch. And I said something about some dude on TV. And he looked at me, 10-year-old, and said, don't ever say that word, dude. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, exactly.
Oh, fuck. What do they call him? Some Giga Chad on the fucking TV now? Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, we'll never catch up.
No.
Actually, it's even more uncool to try and catch up.
Yeah,
you just have to accept the fact that we're outlaws now. You can be a wise old man.
That's the job now, is to pass on. It's to bring up the next generation, you know?
100%. And how long are you doing that?
2 years in Waterford Youth Arts, but like, what's great about this one is I only have an hour and a half of them every Wednesday, and I'm like, and they have their phones, so I'm like, okay, everyone, today we're focusing on sound. Today we're focusing on different camera angles, but they split up. There's about 20 of them. They split up into groups of 3 or 4 or 5. There's a writer, director, actor, and they make a fucking film. You know,
so cool.
And I was like, man, it'd be great if they could edit these and put them together. So do you know when you ask? This is just the way I teach. From everything I've learned, you learn by doing. You learn by making mistakes, by failing forward. Like, no one's gonna watch these films. Don't worry about it. You know, like, don't be afraid. I want them to be fearless creators, because by the time they're our age, this phone is gonna be an absolute fucking animal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to make anything off that. So just encouraging principles. Like I said, I love principles. So, but I was like, I can't edit. And I was like, right, cool. So you have to finish shooting your film at like fucking half 8 or whatever, and then you've got 15 minutes to edit it. And I was like waiting for them to go, but we can't edit, like, you know,
Yeah.
and they did it.
Did they?
Yeah, and we watch the films every Wednesday. They make them 1.5-minute films on their phones. Make them.
Like, that is such a cool thing for kids
Yeah,
to do.
big time.
Yeah.
And they've won awards. They made a film last year, and it's won awards. They won a big, massive award this year. Some kind of
way.
youth film festival.
That's gonna do so much for them.
Yeah, because
That creativity, you know.
and encouraging it, and yeah.
Exactly, opening them up to that. And hopefully they just grow.
Some of the films they make are fucking brilliant. I'm like, oh, this is deadly.
I
Like,
like that idea.
yeah.
I'll have a piece
There's
of that.
one of the kids is stuck in a lift. There's a lift there, you know, for accessibility,
Yeah.
and they just turned off all the lights except for the light in the lift. And the kid's stuck, and just put on Claire de Lune, you know, that song, and all these different angles, and like it was so funny. Whatever way they edited it together, I was like, this is brilliant.
Just think different. They think different. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I can't imagine us doing. Maybe you. I can't imagine myself being like that as a kid. That's maybe we did. Maybe we could. I don't know.
I think with the right space and the right teachers, you know, like teaching is a skill in itself. Like you have to be good at it. I've been to some workshops and for different, not for acting, like for different things. Like I'm like, oh fucking hell, this is boring, because it doesn't involve the people. You know, it doesn't involve them. You have to involve them to understand.
To
you know.
maintain their attention and interest.
Yeah, and if you want to understand something, teach it. You know, if you want to understand it really deeply, because you have to be able to. I think Einstein said, or if he didn't, it's just one of those internet things. If you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, you don't understand it deep enough.
It's a good. If whoever said it, it's fairly true.
It's a good point, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I think that's the case. Like, you know, so I'm still figuring out the acting stuff, and then I don't teach writing. I don't understand too much about that, but I've had a good few writing commissions and stuff, you know.
When you say teach, can you learn? Like, is writing just an organic thing? I know there's like, isn't there generally like just 3 or 4 parts that have to be in a story, like, or is there, I don't know, like, I can't even think of
it. Sounds like you're saying 3-act structure, but you said 4. Yeah,
3-act structure, yeah, exactly. Well, I see, I know nothing about writing.
Yeah, no, I just learned off YouTube and stuff like that, and so what happened, like with Follow the Dead, when my career started, I was like, I'm gonna be the next fucking Colin Farrell. This is gonna be amazing. Like, I can't fucking wait. It's like, Adam, when's this film gonna be out? Like, it's gonna launch my career. He's like, man, I ran out of money, and it's gonna take about 2 years. And I was like, oh fuck me. So then I said, right, what'll I do? Because be practical about this. Like, I'm gonna write a play and put myself in as an actor. So then I get experience in a play. Because plays are great. Plays are like fights. Because they're live. You don't know what's going to happen. You get that immediate feedback. And you fucking know if your acting's good or bad when you're on that stage. At least with film, you can cut it and edit it and go, don't show this to anyone ever. No, with theatre, I fucking love it. Because you're just right there. And so I started doing that. But I go, okay, I can't have one 20-minute play. I'll do like 2 other plays to make it an hour for the audience. And then I got other actors involved, and I'm like, this is fucking great. I love these plays. And then I started writing more.
That's impressive, though. Even to be able to. What were these plays about?
So one of them was this guy. He goes to a tarot card reader or something. It's like, no, he goes speed dating, and he's a tarot card reader. And there's this girl there speed dating, and he puts the cards out in front of her, basically summing up her life, because she was a passenger. Her boyfriend died in a car crash and killed his mom, and he was drunk driving, and he was trying to get her to admit the truth through tarot cards. So that was the first play I wrote.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's great.
And
were you in that one?
Yeah.
You were the tarot card guy?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, I like it.
Give myself the best characters.
I wish I had walked into that play and went, I went to school
with him. Come on, Luke. Yeah, and
so cool.
You know, plays like that are deep and cathartic and stuff. And I do it here now. We call it pub theatre. So we just do it in a pub.
Right.
Because theatre can be very price prohibitive. Like, it'll cost you like €1,600 to rent a theatre before you put one single bum in a seat, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they used to have a space here called Central Arts. Shout out Central Arts. And that was amazing for emerging playwrights and stuff. And even they'd have music and DJs and stuff as well, but that's gone now as well in Waterford. So it's one thing they're missing. Like, yeah, well, Funny Issue and John and Kira ran out themselves as well. Like, you know, so
right, okay.
they moved on. John now works in Waterford Walls there. Shout out Waterford Walls.
Waterford is getting some shout-outs today.
Fucking is.
It seems to be a bit of a hub for the arts still. I know you just said that place is gone, but
No, it still is.
yeah, which is really cool.
There's plenty of writers and theatre groups around as well. Spoken word as well is big down here. Then you've got like all the music schools that the kids go to. There's a lot of them down here. But yeah, when I just go back to the writing, yeah, so I love theatre, and then I wrote a full-length play, and that won like a Best Comedy Award, so I was like leaning into the comedy.
Congrats.
Brendan Grace read the script, if you remember Brendan Grace.
Yeah.
So he commissioned me for his feature film. He actually said, I want this guy to write my film that I've had in my head for 20, 30 years.
You serious?
Serious, yeah. It was in the papers and everything.
No way.
It's called The Spirit of Patrick. And it was a story he had, and I went down to Killarney to meet him. And I just sat there with a big notepad, a big huge one, because like I need it for creative writing and stuff. And we just talked for 2 days. I took down all the notes and went, well, I think it's like this, and I think this is the story we have to make into, shape into a film. And he goes, this is great, and paid me to write the script. That was my first proper writing gig.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, and then
that is some start.
That was some start, alright, yeah. And then a week after he approved the script, he passed away. Yeah.
That's so bad.
Yeah, and his family loved the script and everything, so it's just one of those things.
Have that script now?
No, the production company has it now. Yeah.
That's a real shame. I'm sorry he died too, but I'm sorry for you, because you were just about to have a good platform to hop off there.
No, it's not as bad as dying.
Yeah, it isn't.
But I know what you mean, yeah.
But it goes to show you're doing something right.
Well, I was in the industry then,
Right,
I was in it then. I was like, yeah, my first script for Brendan Grace, here's the work if you want to hire me, so they'd read that, and then I get another gig. Like I've written like 6 feature films and made 2. That's not Fall of the Dead. Like I made another one called Poppy Loftus, which you can send on to actually.
Do please.
That's one I did for 20 grand, which is about a grieving mother and daughter who are terrorised by a haunted doll.
Dude, I'll watch that tomorrow night.
It's a comedy.
I'll watch that tomorrow night.
Yeah, so we all lived in the same house, in my mate Dai's house. There's a big, huge house out in Waterford, there in the country in Waterford, and we just lived there for a month and made the film.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was amazing.
How long does it take to write a script like that?
So if you're looking at 90-page scripts, it's like a 12-week standard. So
that sounds quite quick, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, for you when you write, this is a problem I have with writing. There's almost an internal conflict the whole time where my mind is trying to make an excuse for me not to do it today, and then I'm like, shut the fuck up, just write.
Yeah.
But with your martial arts thing, do you just go, I'm writing from 7 to 9, or do you?
What I've done recently, so what I used to do is put a deadline on it, so it's like a camp, and then what would happen is I just rush it all in the last week. Like last year,
massive wake up.
Yeah, massive wake up. Last year, I said I'm gonna fucking do pub theatre down here, because I hadn't done it down here yet. I did it in Dublin.
Okay.
And so I walked into Henry Downs' the pub there, and went, "Can I have your other room outside?" It's like the other room was like the length of the pub.
Yeah.
And like this would be perfect for putting a play on. It's like a function room, but not. It's all done up real different. They have a grate in there. So I said, "Can I book this place in 4 weeks for 3 or 4 days?" And he said, "Yeah." I was like, "Cool." And I hadn't written the plays, I hadn't rehearsed them, hadn't put them on.
No pressure.
Yeah, so I put the pressure on myself on purpose to do it, and I fucking did it.
You did it.
And we had 40, 50 people per night, and it was great crack.
That's brilliant.
But then now, last month, a friend of mine, Gillian, came over, and we both planned out our goals for the year.
Yeah.
So right now, what I'm doing is I wake up, I either write first thing for a few hours, or I go to the gym and then come back and write.
Okay.
So that's it, and then
it's one or the other.
Yeah, but I'm getting 3 or 4 pages done a day.
Nice.
And it's all stacking up so.
I think I need to do a bit of that. I need to go, no, this is when you're writing and that's it.
Yeah, figure out whether you're a morning writer or a nighttime writer. I used to be a nighttime
writer.
Yeah, I used to be a nighttime writer. Now I changed the morning.
Right.
But yeah, nighttime, just be chain yourself there for an hour.
Jug of black coffee and just get on with it.
I think once you get past the first half of a page, you're in it. If you have the good idea.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like working out as well, where sometimes you don't want to work out, and then you break your sweat. You're like, this isn't so bad. It's weird.
It's just resistance.
Yeah.
It could be a fear of failure, also a fear of success,
Maybe.
a fear of any kind of change, vulnerability. Put myself out there. There's so much I could tell you about that fucking battle, like, you know.
Yeah. I don't know.
And it's stupid. Like you're talking to yourself, you know, when you're procrastinating.
I know.
Oh, I don't want to do it today. Oh, come on, I gotta do it today. Who the fuck is talking? Like, you know, we're supposed to be a single human being.
That is my life sometimes. It really is. And every time I finish whatever I'm doing, I'm like, that was brilliant. Why didn't you just do that all the time?
Don't you feel great?
Yeah, every time.
Every time you finish a fucking creative project, you feel amazing.
Yeah. I always tell people to try something creative.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it just opens something up in you that you didn't know was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because I never knew I was going to get into writing any sort of music.
That's fucking daddy.
Until I got obsessed with hip hop, and then just went, I might give this a shot. And I was lucky enough to be surrounded by some people that were doing it. That just opened up the doors to me. So I was blessed. Well, you kind of had to do it, find it yourself. So.
No, I'm still blessed. I mean, like, I couldn't make that film without support. You know, any of the films I do, we've got a great team at the minute that are really strong in each kind of department that they're in, and fucking, it's really, really incredible. We're like a dream machine. It's literally making a dream come true in film, like, you know. So what we're aiming for now is like the bigger budget stuff, like, you know, to go for those big. I'd say big. Do you know what fucking low budget is for a film?
I've no idea.
5 million.
What?
That's low budget.
Like, who's gonna fund? It just has to be
Arts Council, not the Arts Council, Screen Ireland. You get the funding there.
Would they put that kind of money down on something? Yeah.
No, the production companies would, but they give you access and kind of legitimacy and like a stamp of approval. And I've only applied to them once, actually, just recently, and they've asked to meet me, which is great. Progress. So I'm meeting them in July.
Fingers crossed on that.
Yeah, hopefully, because like that's, and then just going to the different production companies and see if they're looking for things, but there's already a lot of stuff in production, and then it's like there's no gaps and no one takes on anything new, and all this kind of networking shit you have to do. Or
it's kind of, I assume that it's consistency as well. You got to keep going. I'm still here, and I've still got ideas, and I'm not going to go away. So you better start listening to me. It's kind of that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's been my plan. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
Yeah,
and that's how it works in a lot of industries anyway. You just keep going, because the one thing you have written is not the masterpiece. It never is. You just keep throwing stuff at them.
Yeah.
And the way TV has changed somewhat now, and people are kind of leaning into series more. Yeah. Well, just from my experience, would you ever think about writing series, or is it always movies? So
I have to learn, like, you know, like what's Hemingway say? The first draft of everything is always shit. So I had that in mind when I was learning how to write. I was like, okay, let's just get this shit out of the way.
Yeah.
And I just got better and better. I think I read somewhere. I would say they say, but I read somewhere that you don't. It takes you about 5 feature film scripts before you have an idea what you're doing.
Wow.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree completely. Like, you can see the definite progress in each script I wrote.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so now I get it. And I didn't think I could do a series, but I'm actually working on one. At the minute, I'm like, okay, yeah, I got this, because I'm very prolific. Like, I write a lot. So a series makes sense to me. I've got 2 ideas. I can tell you this idea. I want to do Love Hate in the countryside.
Love Hate in the country.
Yeah, basically, that's my idea I have at the minute.
Love Hate in Waterford.
Yeah, why not?
Why the hell not?
Yeah, it's not just all about Dublin, you know. Like, there's that shit goes on down here as well.
I'll tell you what your problem is going to be.
What?
You're going to have to understand the dialect of the young kids.
Shit, yeah.
Because there's actually moments in Love Hate where I'm like, that's not what we used to say.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever. But yeah, that's the easy bit. You'll figure that out. Hang around with a few little brats. But
yeah.
That's a good idea.
I think so, and that's one that'll sustain me. That just sustain me creatively. There's something else I'm working on I can't tell you about, because
that's fine. I don't want you to tell me about anything that might.
No, that's cool.
Somebody might get involved. I don't know. It's like I wouldn't put all my.
But the thing is, there is that thing of worrying about someone stealing your idea, but they're not. It just takes so much effort to do it. Why would you know, if you want to do it. Also, you're not going to be able to write it like I can as well. You know, like the one I submitted to Screen Ireland was an MMA film, And the feedback they gave me for it was fucking glowing. I still didn't get the funding, like for this little the grant that they have, but they still want to meet. But the feedback was like it's really authentic voice, and
You know a lot about
I know a lot about it, and I've never been really satisfied with any MMA films that I've seen. Warriors fucking class, but like
it's good. The fight scenes were a bit.
Yeah, Kurt Angle in it, like, you know, in the power bomb, and I'm like,
Yeah. I think
it's more like kind of Raging Bull is what it feels like. You know, Raging Bull got the boxing down good.
That's great.
Like Rocky's really entertaining boxing matches, but you know.
Yeah, he wrote. I've done a podcast about that movie because it's not too for a childhood. It's fucking huge.
Yeah.
I loved it. Like, yeah, he wrote the fight scenes like punch by punch.
Wow.
But he wasn't necessarily a boxer, so
yeah.
Maybe when you watch it, you can tell it's a movie. Like, you know. But yeah, you would obviously nail down the choreography on.
Well, I'd need a proper fight choreographer for that, but I'd love to experiment with it and see like what really gives you that feeling. Because when you're in there, it's insane. Like, it just something else takes over. You know. And next while you'd be looking up at the lights, like on your back or whatever, and someone's still in between your legs trying to punch your head in, like.
Kingdom. Did you watch Kingdom?
No.
It's actually a really good series. Fight scenes are still a bit like there's a lot of boxing where there wouldn't be, but actually great series, worth watching for sure. That's just off.
No, I'll check it out for sure.
I think Frank Grillo's a beast.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's in a lot of things.
Yeah, I know he's like an action movie, but yeah, he's cool.
Oh yeah.
Well, when I watch Frank Grillo movies with my missus, I'd be looking at her. She's looking at Frank Grillo. I look nothing like Frank fucking Grillo. But yeah, sure. Look, it is what it is. His other movies, what are they again? The Purge. You know the Purge movies?
Yeah.
I just love the concept.
I love the concept of Purge.
I love the concept of the Purge.
Yeah.
I love dystopian stuff.
Same.
I'm just crazy into all that.
Any kind of apocalyptic stuff.
Yeah,
dystopian.
The Road is one of my favourite movies. I think that.
The Road?
Yeah. Actually, that's what this podcast is called, but that's not.
Why?
Maybe subconsciously it is, I don't know.
That's grim, man. The Road is grim, but
it's grim, but the book and the movie are so close to each other.
It's grim, but it's also like, it's life affirming. You know, I think he wrote it about, he had, the guy who made that, wrote about his son. Is that the same guy that did that really fucking violent western?
No Country for Old Men?
No, the book. They can't make it into a film because it's too violent.
Possibly. Like, he has I don't know where he's from, but he has a very Irish name.
Yeah.
The memory of a goldfish here. I'll allow you to check that.
Cormac McCarthy.
Cormac McCarthy, yes.
He did The Road, and he did.
I think he had another couple of books made movies though, but I'm not sure what they were.
Sorry, this is just stuck in my head.
Fine,
and if you get into this, I get into lore. Like, you know, the Dune, the series, or the
I actually haven't seen Dune.
It's fucking class.
I know.
The book Dune was on my parents' and my brother's. Blood Meridian is the name of that western book.
Know that.
Right, so I love lore. So I'll like put me headphones in, go sleep listening to some like relaxing lore about mad stuff. Like The Road would be one of them as well, because you learn about it. But Dune, the book, was like that thick. It was in my family's library that we had. We have loads of books at home. And I never read it. But I fucking listened to all the lore. Like, there's so much about the world, the science fiction, the Spacing Guild, the fucking sandworms. And then when I seen Dune, I was like, I can't die without being involved in a film like this. That's how I felt.
Really?
Yeah. When I seen it in the cinema, I was like, I have to get involved in some kind of film like this. Like, you know.
I love how in love with film you are though. That's so fucking.
But I'm not even though. I got shit before because like. This is weird. I have written more plays than I've seen.
Right. Yeah. I get that.
Plays for sure. And then
probably get a bit like what?
Yeah. Yeah. But then when it comes to film, I've seen lots of films. I just. And then I was doing a Q&A after we did Popular Loftus screening. And I was being interviewed, and the guy interviewing me was like, so, you know, I seen the reference to Apocalypse Now there, and there was a reference to this and a reference to that. And I was like, was there? and he was like laughing, thinking I was joking. I was like, I don't fucking know. Like I get the sun, yeah. We had like a blood moon. We caught the blood moon on a really fucking long telephoto lens, and it was really cool to get that footage. And then there was a couple of lads in the audience that fucking they spoke about me online, but it was like anonymous going, I can't believe it. I've watched so many films, and there was a director that said he doesn't watch films and blah blah blah. I was like, and I liked the post, like going, you know, it was like, it was if like they're nice lads, like, and I see where they're coming from, and I wish I did respond to them properly at the time. But here, 3 fucking years later on a podcast, motherfuckers. So they're like going, yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, you can't even, how could you make a film without watching all the greats first? Because we fucking know it. We've been in it. And it's how it makes you feel is what you remember in a film. And you're being subsumed by all this shit. And if you spend your time trying to study what other artists do, you're never going to do your own fucking thing.
You lose a bit of your creativity then.
You'll only be a copy of a copy of a copy.
What's the point in that?
Totally. Yeah. Like, you learn by fucking doing. That's the best way to learn. I could watch... I'm fucking telling you right now, I could... There's not an amount of films I could have watched that would have prepared me for the first film we made. Or the second one. Yeah. Or fucking catering. How much does the combination cost? How long is it going to take to do this shot? What a fucking 50mm lens is. What an 85mm lens is. How to actually use it. What's it look like? What mood is this actor in? Because they have to be in a bad mood for this one. Like, how are we going to get this emotional state out? What am I trying to say with this scene? What's the most important thing? You know what I mean?
You only get that through actually
doing
it. Practitioner.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I can understand traditionally you might want to watch all these other films and be like, oh, okay, that's, you know, that's brilliant. But if, you know...
You don't have to be an absolute encyclopedia of film to make it.
If you do, you're fucking boring as well.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, you're focusing your time on actually doing the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fucking music I don't know, and sometimes people do that with me. Oh, you see, you might have been influenced by this, and
yeah, it sounds great. Yeah.
I'm not like you. I just nod the head and go, yeah, for sure, yeah.
I know, but that's the thing. I have a theory of acting. This is the thing I teach all the actors in their first acting lesson. So it's just a thing, whether you agree with me or not, it's going to make things easier if you act like it's true. You know, we can debate this all day. But I'd ask them, like, let's say I give you a script, and you know, you've seen a movie script before. I know what it looks like, kind of. Yeah, basically like a book in a certain format.
Yeah, exactly.
And paper, and I ask you who creates the character, and it's in the context of an acting class. So people usually, what would you say?
Whoever wrote it.
Yeah, Grant. So there's always kind of answers like some people say the actor.
Yeah.
So when I started off, I was like, hey Adam, I'm in the zombie movie. I create this character.
Yeah.
But then I started writing, and I was like, no, past Luke, you're fucking wrong. I wrote the character.
Yeah.
Then I started directing, and I was like, well, you're both fucking wrong because I have an influence on this as well. And then I sat in an editing room and went, you can make the editor can make whatever, you know. But
Yes.
ultimately, what no one ever says, I think I've one person say it, is the audience creates the character.
Wow.
Yeah.
I suppose they do.
They do, because and it's a really impactful. I think it's a great first lesson, because when you're in the room and people meet me for the first time and I'm the acting coach, they have an idea of who I am.
Mm.
It's not who I am. It's not nearly who I am, but they have an idea of who I am or who I remind them of, and they act based on that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the same thing, if I was to stick a camera on you now, put you at a bar, put you in a black shirt with a white collar on, well, you're a fucking priest. You know what I mean? And then put a pint in front of you. How you drink the drink, you're a priest with a drinking problem. Or if other people come in and they're all dressed up, you're at a fancy dress now. You're not a priest anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fucking cool, actually.
So when you learn an acting, if you realise that the audience creates the character, let them do half the work then. You have to do fuck all.
Yeah.
And it just relaxes you into just going...
Never thought about it like that.
Yeah, well, this is what I've learned from actually doing it, you know? Same thing, audience create the film. Like those guys the guys were saying, oh, he didn't learn an encyclopedia. That created a character for them in their mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even me talking about them creates a character about them, and it's not them. You get me? It's just that exchange.
Yeah, that's kind of deep. It's kind of deep.
It's very deep. Like it was weird as well. Not weird. I thought it was interesting because when I was teaching in the rehabilitation center, it's like a progression program for these participants, and like when you have your eye contact and it brings up all this stuff, you know, you can end up saying like you're angry at me, or I'm fucking angry, and just end up getting angry, like, you know, and just you ride that wave. But we're not allowed kind of get angry in society. We have to act a certain way. You know, boys are taught don't cry and stuff. Women, young women. My friend's a scientist, and she would say that. We were talking about this, and she was saying young women would be afraid to get angry because the males could literally kill them. Like, you know, it's like in their bones, like, you know.
Yeah.
And so, generally, what I find in the classes is that men would find it difficult to play with sadness or tears, you know, and then women would find it initially difficult to play with anger. But then once you free that up, they're fucking rolling, like, woo. It's great.
It's very liberating, that, isn't it?
It's very liberating, very, very much so. And it was like kind of like outside there's the performance, like in these moments with that intense eye contact. Even though it's like a kind of a performance in itself, it's the fiction you use to tell the truth.
Fiction you use to tell the truth. Wow.
Yeah, because we have a lot of shit going on all the time.
It's I've never picked somebody's mind that's involved in this, and it's quite intriguing. I really do like it. It's cool. I wonder what my next fucking tune is going to be. It's really cool. But I seen an Instagram post of you the other day where you were explaining, and this is something slightly off, but it was just, I thought it was very interesting because it works for me too. I think I commented on it. To write, like, but don't stop and try and continuously correct yourself while you're writing.
Yeah, the vomit draft.
You had the vomit draft, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
I do vomit draft, but I need to make sure I vomit draft.
It's just, it suits some people and doesn't suit others. Like, there's always different styles of writing. Some people can just sit down and go brrp, like, and vomit, and if it works for you, definitely do it. If it works for you even a little bit, you're a vomit draft writer. Like, so the idea is you don't censor yourself. If you make a mistake, you don't go back. You just keep going. Like I said before, this is what I teach the kids. The first draft of everything you write, I don't say everything you do, like the first attempt at everything you do is shit. You know,
shit.
Hemingway, first draft of everything is always shit.
Yeah.
Then that's fine. You don't have to, it's not going to be perfect. That should give you the freedom to go, it's going to be shit, fine. It's going to be shit. You know, so perfection doesn't drag you back. And then I tell the kids, at the same time, your first draft of everything is always perfect because it only has to exist.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, yeah.
From those 2 points of view,
Yeah.
that's how you should approach any first draft.
So you vomit out that first draft, whether it be, for me it might be a podcast script, or it could be a song or whatever. I just, in my experience, I kind of reread it and I start, get rid of that, that doesn't work. Is that the same for you guys?
Yeah.
You just go, that sentence doesn't make sense, or...
For sure.
Or
like you get to the
these.
first draft, and then when you make a change, it's a second draft. And then you go through that, and then you do a third draft, and you cut. Another great lesson I teach the kids is, do you ever see, like, I think it's Michelangelo was the sculptor, and do you ever see those sculptures with, like, the hands pressing into the thighs, and it's made of marble, and it's incredible stuff. I remember seeing one of those blocks in Florence. It was like a huge block, and there was one chip into it in Florence. I think Michelangelo even did it, and he's like, take it away. And it came all the way down from the fucking mountains. He's like, this is no good.
After one chip?
Yeah, and it's just there as a thing
it's
in
there.
Florence. Yeah, it's just, I was like, oh, holy shit. And he would have made the statue of David out of one of them.
Yeah.
And they're asking him, like, how do you get that detail? Like, in statue and pressing into flesh.
Yeah.
And he says, I saw the angel in the rock, and then I carved until I set him free.
I mean, that's gold.
It's fucking gold.
Yeah. Gold.
So that's the same if you're doing, that's how they can make a film every class. They don't care. They're carving every time.
Yeah.
And it's the same with your vomit draft, and then you have your first draft. It's not your second draft. Then you have your second, third, you know.
Also, vomit isn't even a draft. It's like,
No.
It doesn't even get a number.
It doesn't even have to have a number. Yeah, exactly.
I like that. So, so in your experience, you thought, is it 3 drafts? Or does it?
For me, I usually, like, for a play, I'd get it in 3.
Would you?
For a film, you probably go 5, 6. Yeah. 5, I think, is... No, for a normal film contract, it's 3 drafts, and then you have to pay for the next 2, and then you have to pay even more for 6, 7, or 8.
What do you mean, pay?
So the contract would be, let's say if I got contracted to do a feature film, I'd like it would include up to 3 drafts.
Oh, you submit these drafts and then they...
Yeah, so I'd have a deadline for the first draft, you know.
Okay,
I could
so
get
they have to see your drafts regardless?
Yeah, you send on a first
Even
draft
if you're
anyway.
not happy with it, kind of thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Well, no, obviously I'll send on the first draft and I'm happy with the first draft. You know.
Okay, so,
But
so their first draft could technically be your third draft, is that what it is?
yeah, probably, yeah.
I got you.
But anyway, so yeah, I think the most I did on a script was 5.
Right.
Normally it ends up just being 3.
Awesome. That's cool.
Because it's just, if anybody's doing this or anybody's editing or you're doing something for someone, put that fucking draft clause in there so that they're not constantly coming back to you for changes and changes and changes.
Yeah.
Say if you want more changes after this, it reverts back to the original price and that stops it. It's just good. It's good entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
To be aware of that.
That's a mistake you learn from.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's the only way I learn from, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never know, man. Like, the one thing I've learned as I got older is you can do whatever you want. You're never too old to try something. So
No.
maybe one day I'll try and write a script. You never know.
Do.
It'll be dystopian most of the
Good.
But yeah, look, I don't want to keep you all day. I've got so much great information out of you already. And I think maybe in a couple of years
We'll
come
check
back
in.
and do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's been fucking great. I really enjoyed that.
Anyway, so did I.
Thanks for
Appreciate it. I
having me.
feel
Thanks
like
for coming
I
on.
talked loads.
Oh, look, we'll do it again. Cheers, man.
Nice one.
I will do that.
Appreciate
Very
it.
much.